Hello! Welcome.
We're getting fancy tonight. We're on Instagram and Facebook. And
with a Christmas tree.
At the same time, with a tree.
Yes, we are awesome. So I'm Randy. This is Shannon. Together, we are the Thriving Relationship. Yeah, so we like to come together Tuesday evenings, pick a topic, and visit with our followers.
And ourselves.
Yeah, mostly we visit with each other. Occasionally people chime in with comments.
So the idea is that we're hoping to give couples, people, talking points for the week. So we hear often that people just get stuck. They don't know what to really talk about. So our motivation is to give you something to talk about.
Yeah, we call it rich conversation.
Right.
That's what we like to call it.
Rich.
Doesn't that sound nice?
I think it sounds
really nice. It sounds like a warm cup of hot cocoa.
Why would you have any other type of conversation?
Yeah,
rich conversation.
Like dark chocolate rich. Okay. So last week we kind of got this idea actually through our comments, I believe.
Yes.
And I put together a really great picture for it. I'm an artist. I don't know if you know this.
Beautiful.
We're going to talk to you tonight. Oh, let's see here. We got 2 screens. That's really complicated. The Drama Triangle. Okay? All right. Now you see my image. I'll pull it up a few more times. So why did we pick to talk about the Drama Triangle?
It's the holidays. It's beautiful. I like the lights. I like to watch Elf. I like
to listen to the radio.
And today I heard, and it was the best statistic going into this, which is 88% of couples will fight 7 times during the holiday season.
And that's how many tick marks do you have already?
Right, and I'm going through. And what are we fighting about? We're fighting about money. We're fighting about travel. Who do we stay with? Do we stay with them? How much do we gift? Do we give? How much do we eat? Do we eat?
I heard that sometimes we fight about sex around the holidays too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not for sure, but I think
you
that
heard
came
that?
up. Yeah, I did hear that.
On the radio station.
On the radio station. I read it in the other article I looked up.
Yeah, so we're all feeling it. I think everybody is. I mean, if you're doing the holidays brilliantly, well done.
Awesome.
Well done. Comment. Give us some tips. For the 88%.
For doing it humanly, like the rest of us. Yeah, that's 88%. High effing 5. Keep it up. You're with the rest of us, okay?
So how do you change some of this conflict into something that is rich conversation, as opposed to we just go in the same circle that we've always gone in?
Yeah.
So we're referencing tonight, it's the Karpman Drama Triangle, and developed by Dr. Stephen Karpman about 40 years ago.
Yes.
So, Brandy, you can take it.
Okay, I'll take it. So, without making this like a total lecture, because this is really something you could probably do a whole webinar on.
We'll be here for
days.
hours.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and make it the condensed version. If you want to look more up, Karpman, Karpman, okay, Karpman Drama Triangle. So the idea is, we have different ways of meeting our needs in relationships, right? When we interact with other people, and this Drama Triangle is about the unhealthy ways, kind of the manipulative ways. And when I say manipulative, I mean that in the nicest way possible, because what they are is usually they're just kind of skills that we picked up along the way. And the bummer part is sometimes they're effective, right? Sometimes they work, and that's why they're hard to change, is because we've learned to meet our needs sometimes through these different roles. And so what are the different roles, you ask? Well, let me tell you. So up here we have, this is so backwards. I can't look at the triangle and tell you. I'll get my fingers all wrong. So what comes together to make the Karpman Triangle is the persecutor. Okay, so this is your person that's generally pretty aggressive. They might be the bossy pants in the situation. And actually, let me say, we usually all shift through all 3 of them.
Right.
Okay, you might be one more often.
A favored role.
Yeah, but usually if that favored role isn't quite doing it, then we swap to one of the other ones. So you have your persecutor, okay? And they use aggression, they use blame, that type of thing. And then we have the rescuer. Oh, right here. You look up the word rescuer, you'll find my face in the dictionary.
Yes, both of us are there.
We're kind of in recovery, sometimes totally off the wagon. Okay, so rescuers We want to fix people. That's what we do. We find projects and we fix people. Yeah. Obviously not my husband. He came as a complete package. He didn't need any fixing. No. And so sometimes what struggles here is we find our worth by fixing people, and we kind of forget that we just simply have worth because. And so if we don't have a project, then we struggle with having value in ourselves.
Right.
And so we can suck at setting boundaries, doing self-care.
Resentments.
We form a lot of resentments because people praise us for like, oh my gosh, you're so helpful. I cannot believe that you would do that, right? So that kind of feeds the ego part of us. And so then we do it more, but all the while kind of under the surface, we're resentful that we're like
tired,
doing.
out, right.
Yeah, we get exhausted, that type of thing. And we just don't do good at taking care of ourselves because, Anyway, so those are 1 and 2. And number 3 is the victim. Okay, so
I like that one too.
Yes, yeah, right. Everybody does. I promise you, even if you're a persecutor most of the time, we all shift occasionally into the victim. So the victim, the biggest way to kind of identify this is we don't take responsibility for stuff, and we do a lot of blaming. We feel like we're picked on. We oftentimes are feeling very bad for ourselves. We aren't good at making decisions. We aren't good at problem solving. And, we kind of complain about what's going on, but we lack the action to kind of change it. So those are those 3 characteristics. Those are 3 roles. And again, we shift through all of them. I promise you, in one really rich conversation, like I can knock out all 3 of those roles really easily with my 6-year-old. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Think of your last fight. I usually start in either choose victim or more of a persecutor role. It's either I'm angry and I'm criticizing about something, or I'm pretty sure no one has ever heard me ever. And then Brad, he'll jump right in. He likes rescuer too, so he will come in with rescuer, and then maybe I don't want to be rescued. Maybe I don't want to. So then I'm going to I'll flip into another role, and then he'll flip into victim. And so you can watch yourself in one single fight probably jump all 3 roles. And then there is the just generally, how do you interact in a lot of relationships? And that would be like the rescuer. I think anyone who's in social work or in helping fields, we
generally got that.
Have the rescuer
in our DNA.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So here, we've given you a lot of information on like, here, don't do this. Right. And
good night. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Go have fun. No. Okay. So 1, you're probably never going to get this completely out of your dialogue. At some point, you're going to fall back into the role because, again, it just really gets that ingrained in us. And like, I've been teaching this to people who struggle with addiction and their families for 10 years. And like, I still go home and do it. And like, as I was kind of studying up on the triangle, I was like, oh, I do use guilt a lot with my poor 15-year-old. Like, I really have to watch myself on that. Okay. So like, we do it. But we're all working on it. Okay. So what do we want to do to try and do this different? So if you find that you're shifting into the persecutor role, okay, you're the bossy pants, that type of thing, what we want to try and get you to do, and there's a few different words I've seen for it, so I'm just going to cheat here. What we want to help you shift to do is to become the challenger. Okay.
So stay away from the blaming statements, stay away from the criticism. You can still enter into the more difficult conversations, but the approach is everything.
Yeah. Instead of you, you kind of do the I feel. That's a really good way to start, and not I feel you're an idiot. That is not a good way to do it. Okay. But I feel frustrated. I feel forgotten. I feel ignored. I feel angry.
I have a need. I'm really wishing that you could meet me here versus you never do this.
Yes. And we want to make sure that your expectations are really clear, right? Sometimes that's what we do when we're in persecutor roles. We don't make our expectations clear. And that way we have a reason to stay being angry, right? Because no one can hit the mark because we're constantly moving it. And so we need to make sure that we have clear expectations that we know and that we share with the people that we're trying to interact with. Okay. All right. So rescuer, what are we going to do for you? We're going to shift you into a coach, right? You're like camp counselor coach mode, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is wonderful to be able to help people. Okay. And what's even more wonderful is to always assume that people are strong and capable and that they can do so much for themselves. Yes.
You want to be able to guide
Yes.
on the side versus jumping in, rescuing, because and this is something that I struggled with, is I didn't realize that by jumping in with my cape and saving people, is that I was signaling to them that they cannot save themselves.
I don't trust you to be able to do it.
I don't trust you to do it, and that is not a pattern that you want to get into. And so it's very important. I love to be supportive. I love to be a guide, and I totally think that you can come up with some really great problems. And think with your kids, like, this is an easy one. Like, I can jump in with, did you email your teacher? Did you?
Right.
And so my little trick is like, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, so how are you going to take care of that?
What ideas do you have?
And as a rescuer, moving to the coach role, okay,
yes.
Sometimes we have to let people make mistakes, okay?
Oh.
We cannot protect everybody from making their own mistakes. Like, I want you to stop and think for a second. The biggest lessons you have learned in life, the biggest ahas that have helped you kind of become the person you are, how did you learn them? Usually it's from falling on our face, right? Most of the time it's from some embarrassing or sad or disappointing or frustrating experience that helped us go, oh, I don't want to do that again. I want to do this differently. Okay. And when we step in and we keep our kids or our partners from falling on their face from time to time, they never learn it.
Right.
Okay?
I think this is probably the number one interaction that I'm seeing with couples is you have one who's sitting in victim role and one sitting in rescuer. And then over time, the rescuer gets really tired of rescuing.
Yeah, they get really resentful.
And it just won't work long term. So being able to be partners instead of in this role of
So that gives you some good ideas for how to kind of help us shift into that coach. Active listening. Don't fix things for people. If they ask, hey, could you help me do this? Feedback. Right? If you want to, you should lean in and do it. If you're driven by guilt, you should not do it. Okay? And that is a hard one for us rescuers to learn, is like we feel like we're doing something wrong when we don't do it with them or for them if they ask. But I promise you, we want them, one, to have those failures because they learn from them, and two, to have those successes because they learn from them.
And
also
to be able to own those successes instead of like, oh, well, Brandy told me to do that. So it's kind of your success. It's not really mine.
I am confident I built my kids like the little science project where they have to do like a plant cell and an animal cell. So it's like, oh, I don't think she can do it the way I think it should look. And I'm just sitting here like picturing like, it was so beautiful. I'm sure the teacher was like, yeah, I bet you built it.
I'm sure that 12-year-old built that.
Right. Okay, so moving from coach, now we want to look down at the victim role. So what are you going to be if you're not going to be a victim anymore?
A survivor.
A survivor, or even better, a thriver. Yes, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah, okay. So, this is tricky. You know what it means you have to do? You have to take accountability. You have to find your part in it and own it, okay? And I promise you, if you are in a dysfunctional pattern with anybody, whatever situation you're in, generally, we can find some element that I can own. And the hard part about that is, we have to take accountability. But the coolest part about that is now you can do something about it.
Right.
As long as you're blaming someone else, you're giving all of your power away and you can't fix any of it. But when you say, oh, yeah, I see, like, I didn't get up and I didn't go to work for 3 days in a row. Now I don't have a job. It's not just because my boss is an a-hole. Maybe he also is an a-hole, right? But you can see that part that you had in it, and then you can do something different. Right? What else would you contribute on that part? I'm just thinking.
I think you covered as far as the survivor thriver. I'm still stuck on like the name. It's problem solving. You move into problem solving instead of feeling like you're disempowered. So it is moving into action. How am I going to do this in action?
Yeah, and like keep that mantra in your head, like, I can do it. I can do this. I can do hard things, right? Like, because you can do hard things. All people can do really hard things. Like,
do that every day.
It is just what we are made to do, is to do hard things. So believe that, and I promise you will start to rise to that occasion.
So the next question generally is as well, if I'm in this dynamic and my husband's the victim or the rescuer and I'm is what do I do if they don't want to play along? They don't want to watch the video. They don't want to try. So if I won't be a victim, that leaves my person with no one to rescue.
Yeah, this is a fire, right?
Yes.
This is a fire that happens, this cycle of fire. And if we both agree to stay in the fire, we just keep putting fuel into it, right? So it just gets worse. But if one of us says, no, not going to take the bait,
I'm going to step out of the triangle, all of a sudden it throws it.
Yep.
So you have a lot of power on your own to step out of this triangle. But you have to be very, like, I do mantras.
Yep.
Like, and I just come back to, like, whatever powerful statement I need to say. Like, I'm here because I love you, period.
Sometimes things can be like, yeah, you're right. Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something I could really consider, right? Like, we don't have to agree with him. We don't have to, like, but if we don't feed back into the cycle, they may try a little bit more, right?
And they'll jump roles.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not getting you with criticism and the persecutor role, then maybe I'm going to jump over to the victim and see if I can move you then.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be really prepared to don't engage. Don't engage.
Yep. And you just kind of keep your little partial smile and you tell yourself, like, all right, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I do this a lot, and especially parenting, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, you know that you lose your phone if you don't get your homework done. You know that you'll lose your, and so you don't engage into the big, like, we're jumping between. You're so mean. You just stay. You just stay grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how you do it.
That's a lot tonight.
That's not too bad. That's only 17 almost minutes.
That's true.
Like,
covers a
that
whole.
easily could have been a couple hour lesson.
That should save you, like, at least, what, 5 out of the 7 fights? You can knock those out. You can knock your holiday fights down.
They could be really condensed fights.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they're just a couple, like, harsh digs at each other, and then someone says, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, good point. All right, maybe I'll try that differently.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it different next time.
Mm-hmm.
I won't burn dinner next time.
Great.
I'll order pizza.
I'll get the dust.
Yeah.
Great.
Right. Okay. Is that, like, clear as mud? There's some comments coming in that make me feel like people are like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We have our rescuers on here.
Yes.
I love that.
Thank you, rescuers. We appreciate you. Yeah. Oh, likes are coming up. All right. So we must be on it. Okay.
So we've got some exciting things in the works for 2019.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had such a fun weekend.
We went venue shopping in Idaho Falls for our first retreat of 2019. So that'll be the weekend after Valentine's Day.
What do we say? It's like the 15th,
15th, 16th?
I think so. Double check.
So,
okay, so it's a Friday, Saturday.
Join us in Idaho Falls. We're getting the hotel figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really, really excited. We were all over. You should see some of the venues we were playing with.
It's going to be so fun.
And what else? We'll do Sun Valley in May.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is to do 4 retreats, so a retreat each season. So Sun Valley in May, we're shooting for Park City in July.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think we've agreed on the month yet.
No.
It depends on volleyball. There will be a fall retreat.
There will be a fall retreat.
Yes.
It'll come.
And as always, the workshop is online available.
Yes.
And so this is a lot of the format is you have a video like this every week on a specific topic, and then you have experiential exercises to do with your person. It's all in your own home. It's private. We'd love for you to engage with us, but you don't have to. Nope. You don't even have to admit that you're doing it. So workshops, intensives, which is my favorite, which is you as a couple decide that you want to really dig in for 2 to 3 days. And we do that here in Idaho Falls, or we like to travel. So just let us know where we can meet you.
Sun Valley is a really fun place to get a
McCall, maybe Jackson Hole. But you get to go beyond the surface and really shift relationship in those 2 to 3 days. I haven't done one yet where a couple hasn't made major shifts.
Yeah, it's a real restructure of your foundation.
You focus solely on the relationship, and when do you do that for 2 days? You just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. The website.
Yeah, the website. Oh, okay. So you want to know more? Do you? But do you really? Okay.
And with emails. We want your email.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so much information. All right. So our website, Shannon, the common spelling, Kay, Johnson.com, right? You'll find all the information we just kind of shared. As far as the February retreat, again, we're still figuring out the details. So more information coming there. Go to the website. You can give us your email, and we will make sure that you stay informed and in the loop of kind of the different things we have going on. Follow us on Instagram. I don't know the handle.
The Thriving Relationship. Wherever you go, the Thriving Relationship.
Yeah. So yeah, check us out there. And
we always like topic ideas. So if anything interests you for next week, let us know.
Yeah, it's not.
We're here on Tuesdays.
Yeah, our practice will give us more information, I'm sure.
I'm always inspired.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is the theme this week. Okay. Lovely having you with us. And yeah, next Tuesday, we'll see you here again.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Bye-bye.